Okay, wonderful. I think we should get started now. Hi, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to this live session in celebration of Alopecia Awareness Month. And today, we will be talking about alopecia with our guests and alopecia advocates, Jasmine Oguns and Moshoodat Badmus. Dr. Benedict, medical doctor at Vinci Hair Clinic, will also be joining me. My name is Alex Otibanjo, and I have the absolute pleasure of moderating this session. We will be joined by Jasmine and Moshoodat. Jasmine Oguns was born in Kaduna State to parents in Odo State's local government area, where she was diagnosed with alopecia in 2004. She is the founder of the Heroic Alopecia Foundation, whose t-shirt I'm wearing today, and also wristband. And she's also the creative director of Hobbies Empire Limited. She is also a creative artist and has had alopecia for over 17 years. Moshoodat Badmus is a professional makeup artist and esthetician. She graduated from Lagos State University and has a BSc in biochemistry. Her hair loss began in 2015, and it has progressed to alopecia universalis in 2016. She runs her own spa and makeup studio and also has a skincare line. We're so honored to have you guys here today. I'm just going to add you so you can join the session. Just give me 1 minute. Wonderful. Just let me add.
Hey.
Hello, Moshoodat. How are you?
Hello.
Hi. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, welcome. Yeah. Good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm happy to be here.
Amazing. I'm just going to invite, let's see, give me 10 seconds. Okay, wonderful. And let me just do one more. Perfect. I'm just inviting everyone to join, so it shouldn't be too long of a wait.
Okay.
Okay. Hi, Jasmine. Hi. How are you? I can hear you a bit. It's a little bit faint.
Hey.
Hi. Yes, that's much better.
I can hear you now.
Yes, I can hear you perfectly. How are you, ladies?
Very well, thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure. And we're so excited for you to share your story and answer pertinent questions on alopecia. I'm really excited, and that the session will be very, very insightful. So I'll start with you first, Jasmine. Tell us a little bit about Alopecia Awareness Month. What exactly is alopecia?
Alopecia is an autoimmune condition that causes partial or total hair loss. It happens when the immune system sees the hair follicles as a stranger to the body and attacks it. You know, what the immune system does is it protects us from strange substances, right? It protects us from germs, disease, and all. So the immune system now sees the hair follicles as a stranger, and then it attacks it. And when that happens, hair loss occurs, and it leads to partial or total hair loss.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that, Jasmine. That really does really help and mean a lot. I'm going to go on to you, Moshoodat, for question 2.
Okay.
Please, if you're able to, please share your alopecia story with us. Like, how did it start for you in your journey?
Okay. My alopecia journey actually started in 2015. I was
Yes.
about to go for NYC camp in Nigeria, and
Mm.
I was at the salon to wash my hair, and my hairstylist noticed the first bald patch, and she asked me if I had shaved that part. So it's really tiny and small. So I was scared. I just told her to leave my hair. I didn't wash it, and I went home. I showed my parents, and we didn't even think of it as a medical condition. You know, we just hair doesn't just disappear. Why would hair just disappear on your head?
Mm.
So we thought it was spiritual. We started praying and all that, and I went to camp. So I went to camp, and I came back, with one extra bald patch, and the other one was still there. So I just decided to like go online and Google the symptoms, the signs, and I stumbled across alopecia. um at first I was like, okay, and I was really happy when they said sometimes your hair grows back, most of the time your hair grows back, and universalis and totalis is like rare. So I was really happy, like, oh, thank God. I showed my mom, and she was like, no, she doesn't think that's it. So I told her I want a medical diagnosis, and I got one, but it was wrong. They told me it was fungal infection, and I was placed on drugs. That didn't do anything for like a month.
Yeah.
I got another diagnosis, and it was the same thing. Till a doctor told me that she feels it's alopecia and referred me to Luke's dermatology clinic. So that was the first place I got the right diagnosis. And it was kind of a relief because I already knew deep down that, it was alopecia. And, they just told me that's what's wrong with me. And I'm just one of the few unfortunate ones. At that point, it was just alopecia areata. And I was told I'll be placed on a treatment. I'll take steroid shots for 6 months. So, and we'll see if the hair grows back. So I took the first shot and went home, and I was advised to combine the treatment with the traditional treatment. I was asked to take agbo and all that, herbal supplements.
Yes.
So the herbalist or herbal woman told me I would have to shave my hair for that to work better. I didn't want to, but a lot of people were just saying, no, try it now. There's nothing wrong with doing both together.
Yeah.
So I did. I shaved my hair, and it all went downhill from there. Because after shaving my hair and it started growing back, it just fell off the more. I had bristles. While your hair is growing back, it comes in bristles, and I would sleep and wake up, and I would see those short hair on my pillow. And within, like, let's say 2 months, everything just went off. So by the time I went for my third appointment, I had no hair at all. And the dermatologist was actually confused on where to like inject. So he was like, okay, there's no hair. So I saw the hair dermatologist then, and she told me the treatment is only meant for partial hair loss, not total hair loss. And there was nothing they could do again. They told me they were going to call me, but they didn't. And that was just it. So by 2016, early 2016, I went completely bald. And I also lost my lashes, my brows. I lost hair everywhere. So the timeline that the progression from areata to totalis to universalis was pretty fast for me. But the good part of 2015 was that I met Jasmine. At that point, I felt I was the only one in Nigeria, like Africa as a whole. I would go on Instagram, go on Facebook, and I would see pictures of alopecians, but most of them were white. And even when you come across blacks, they are mostly like African Americans. You hardly see like Nigerians. So, but I stumbled on a post on Instagram there was a post about Jasmine. I think she was trying to create awareness, but it all went wrong. So I commented on the post, I was just supporting her, and she said I talked about someone that knew alopecia, and she bought me. And that was, like the relief, because I was in a really dark place. I felt I was the only one, and someone just reached out and she said, I also have alopecia, and I saw your post. I was really happy. I can remember I told everyone, I told my mom, I told my sisters, and it was just really great for me. And guess what? I was the first member of Heroic Alopecia Foundation, because she started the foundation that same year, and that's just it.
Amazing. So you're an honorary member of the HRF. That's amazing. That's the first one. Oh, wow. Well, thanks, Percy. Thank you so much for sharing your story. It was I really resonated with that, especially with just representation. The fact that you said that you found comfort in knowing that you found Jasmine, who's already a really amazing role model in this area, to actually know that someone else like you's going through that. I think that really does mean a lot, especially in our social media age of things, and maybe representation not always being there. So I thought that was a really, really lovely touch. And just the speed at which things developed were quite crazy. But it sounds like you dealt with it the best way you could, and you guys look fabulous as you are already. So just thank you again so much for sharing your story. I thought that would lead in really well to the next question, the fact that you talked about representation, especially in the media. I'm going to bring it back to both of you and just opening a discussion surrounding public awareness and acceptance of individuals living with alopecia. How do you think individuals that don't have alopecia can support those living with alopecia? And that's an open-ended question for the both of you.
Actually, if you ask me, talking about the statistics of people who know about alopecia in Nigeria, I would say just 2%. Because the truth is, a lot of people do not know about this thing, and that's why we're taking awareness really seriously. I've had to talk about alopecia on my social media handles, on my WhatsApp status, back and forth, back to back. Like I talk about every now and then since I took this mantle of awareness in 2016. And surprisingly, I still get to hear people who have been on my contact list for years asking me why I love to shave my hair.
Yeah.
Asking me where I find all these ladies who just willingly shave their hair. And I have to explain all over again to say, no, we did not shave our hair. We do not have hair. So they still find it strange despite the awareness. So every now and then we try to devise a means of passing awareness, like creating awareness, letting people know about this thing. We try to use videos, we try to use word of mouth. We're supposed to have a walk this month in Nigeria, but because of the situation of things, COVID and all, we just have to take precautions. So we're hoping that next year we'll take it to another level, because it's actually getting better, because it can only get better. But I would say that a lot of people still don't know about alopecia. And on the part of those who do not have alopecia, I think we have a lot of sensitization to do, because without them knowing about this disease, it goes a long way to affect an alopecian. You can imagine an alopecian being stigmatized on a daily basis just because he or she does not have hair. Because this is not something that is self-inflicted. It's something that happens, and because most people do not know, the way people who don't have this condition handle those who have it goes a long way to affect them mentally, physically, and in all ways. So we're really trying to see how we can further create awareness. Like right now, we're just emphasizing on awareness, because it can be overemphasized. Like we really need to do more in that area, in that aspect.
Just chip in. I think family sometimes one of the core focus of HAF in creating awareness is family, because it starts from there. Most people, when they talk about their stigmatization journey, they talk about their family the most. You have people talk about cousins, our cousins, look at them, how they talk to them, or even in a bid, to be protective. Families cannot even just accept your let's say self-awareness journey, your journey to being more confident, because by the time you say you want to step out bald, you want to try and see, okay, can I go out bald? You have your family telling you, oh no, you forgot your wig. Oh, I used to like that. No, take your wig. And they are protecting you. It's coming from a place of love, but at the same time, it is a form of stigmatization, because you keep on bringing the alopecia, you keep on bringing them down. I remember a story of where I think one of our members said a sister didn't use a brush for like years. She didn't really think about it, but I think during the awareness month, a sister told her recently that she didn't use a brush because she thought alopecia was contagious. So imagine how that would make her feel, So it starts from home. So one more family that knows about alopecia, we are one more step closer to our goal. and that's just it. So families should support. The main support should come from family and friends. I can remember when I started posting my pictures on social media, like I decided on that on my own, but my cheerleaders were my families and friends, not strangers, not people on social media, because I've not even posted pictures anyway. So my cheerleaders were the closest people to me. So yeah, major support has to come from people around us, and that's just it.
Oh, wow. You guys both provided really amazing answers, and just thank you so much for answering that so well. I hear everything you guys are saying, just from acceptance, family and friends, and just encouraging your friends to encourage you. I think that's really important, especially when you guys detailed the mental issues and mental barriers you guys faced in this journey. So the fact that you guys brought that up and also brought the importance of family and friends and sharing the word was really insightful. And just looking at the comments, I feel as if everyone resonated with your stories and everything. So just thank you guys so much for being, really brave and just sharing that aspect. And I think it'll definitely teach us all a lesson to do what we can in this area. And just listening to what you guys said, we're definitely gonna, I know for myself, I'll definitely do it. So I just want to thank you for that. I think that leads on to this next question really well, because I remember you mentioned, Moshoodat, that someone thought that alopecia was contagious, which is quite outrageous in most areas. But I guess if you're not familiar with this area, then it's understandable, but horrifying, of course. So we're just going to enter into a very quick true or false segment. So we came up with a list of statements that people have thought either were true or false. So I'm going to ask the two of you whether you think the statements are true or false. So I'll start with you, Jasmine. So the first statement we thought was true or false is alopecia is hereditary. Is that true or false?
I can't exactly say true or false because 1 of 5, okay, I'll say research has it that 1 out of 5 cases of alopecia is hereditary, right? But then, because alopecia is polygenic, both parents must contribute a number of specific genes for their child to have alopecia, right? And it's also possible that none of the parents will have alopecia and their child will still have it. And there's every possibility that one of the parents who has alopecia would have all our kids or all his kids without alopecia. So the response to that is not exactly true or false. You understand? Because there are so many things. There are so many, what's it called now?
Factors.
Many factors, that's the word, thank you. There are so many factors, you understand, that triggers alopecia. And that's our fact, that's our daily fact for today, talking about hereditary. So you can't exactly say it is true, neither can you say it is false. But then research has it that 1 out of 5 cases is hereditary.
And it is, I think it is kind of believed that there should be a trigger for it to happen, even when you have like there's some sort of secondary factor that comes in play too. So yeah, a lot of things just comes into play. So I agree with Jasmine.
Great, thank you so much for answering that. I definitely hear where you guys are coming from, and that makes perfect sense. I guess the second question is to you, Moshoodat. Alopecia only affects women. Is that true or false?
Okay, that's totally false. That's false on every level. Okay, I feel for alopecia gotten from autoimmune conditions, most people believe it affects women the most. And I feel that's because, women embrace theirs the most. You get the whole I'm bold, I'm strong, I'm beautiful things, and they post more pictures on social media. And for men, I think it's just accepted. People do not really think about it that, okay, they have alopecia, because you might just assume that a man just decides to like rock the bald look. So you don't really think more about it. I think that's why people believe alopecia is a woman thing, and that's just wrong. Because for male pattern baldness, people also believe it's a man thing. it's a men's thing, but women also get female pattern baldness, which is also a form of androgenic alopecia. So no, it is definitely not a women's thing alone. It is not gender biased. It affects both men and women. Though I personally believe it affects women more, but that's not grounded on research, but it's just my personal belief. But it affects both men and women. Yeah.
Yeah, and in addition to that, we actually have men in the foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Recently, I visited Lagos 2 months ago, and I have this friend who's been on my contact list for a long while. Like, he's been seeing my status update about alopecia, but he still did not understand. He thought it was a style. And when he heard I was in Lagos, he decided to come around. He joined us, and when he got there, he saw a lot of balding. And I was like, what's going on? Is this a club or something? And I said, no. So when looking at him, I noticed he does not have lashes and he does not have brows. So I asked him, do you have alopecia? He looked confused because he didn't understand what I was saying. So at some point, I sat him down and I started talking to him about the condition. I shared a bit of my experience, and then I started making reference to other members who were there. And then he said he has a confession to make, that he actually lost his hair 32 years ago when he was a kid. Yes, and he didn't know what it was. His parents did not know. They took him to different places, thinking it was a spiritual attack. And when solution was not forthcoming, he decided to embrace it. In fact, he got himself a nickname, Ori. So till date, people call him Ori. His childhood friends, people from school, they call him Ori. So he just accepted it. But it was easy for him because he's a guy, right? And he always has glasses on. So people just feel, okay, this guy does not like hair. He likes to shave and all, but he has
Just
total
bald.
hair loss. Doesn't have hair anywhere on his body from head to toe. So it's not a woman's thing. It happens to both genders, yeah.
Completely hear that. And again, I think that really segues nicely into the third statement I had, which is total body loss is a form of alopecia, and that's directed to you, Jasmine. Like that links on very well from what you were just saying regarding the man that you met on your last visit. So I'll leave it to you to answer.
Total body loss and total body hair loss is called alopecia universalis. There's alopecia totalis, there's alopecia universalis, and there's also alopecia areata, which is the initial stage of hair loss. Areata happens when you have bald patches on the scalp. You know, for some people, that's where it ends. Like, they just have that areata and that's it. For some people, it progresses from areata to totalis, from totalis to universalis. Totalis is limited to just the head. That the hair loss is limited to just the head. And I've experienced the three phases. Like, I've had my experience, my episode of areata. I've had my totalis episode and then universalis. My universalis episode happened in 2008 when I was placed on minoxidil spray by a dermatologist that I consulted then. And I used the spray for about a year and a half. And while I was using it, it seemed like my hair was growing, but it wasn't really growing because I still had the bald patches everywhere. But it looked like there was something coming. You know, there's this, when you hope for something, you know, you just feel, okay, my hair is growing. But when you look at it, really, nothing is really happening. So after a year and a half, I stopped using it. And the moment I stopped using the minoxidil spray, I lost my hair completely, like every part of my body. I lost my lashes, I lost my brows, I lost every hair on my body, including pubic areas. So I think it was until that time I started appreciating my lashes, because I have issues with my eyes. So every little thing that comes around irritates me. And, you know, I didn't get to appreciate my lashes until that moment when I lost it, you know. So universalis, alopecia universalis, is the term used for total body hair loss.
Yeah.
And anything can trigger it. So for some people, it stops at areata. For some people, it progresses to totalis, where it's just limited to the head. And for some people, it progresses further to not having hair anywhere on the body.
No, I hear that. Thank you so much for sharing. Did you have anything to add to that, Moshoodat?
Not really. I just agree with everything Jasmine said. But for the progression, I think one thing is, like, for example, mine went from areata to totalis to universalis pretty fast. But then I got my brows and lashes back. I got hair in some areas back too, but not completely. Then a few years after to, like, so my brows, I have full brows here. I have partial brows here. They're not like totally full. So it kind of sometimes for some people you can go back to totalis. You can go back to universalis again. It's just like a cycle. It keeps on, fluctuating for some people. And for some people you just get to universalis stage and you never leave there. So some people get regrowth back, but for me I just see alopecia as a cycle, it comes and goes. So that's just it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think before you guys mentioned universalis, I didn't even know that was, things. This is incredibly educational for me and the other viewers as well. So just thank you guys so much for sharing that again. And I guess that goes into our final true or false statement, and that's to you, Moshoodat. There are no treatments for alopecia. Is this true or false?
Okay, I wouldn't say true or false. I would say there is no known cure for alopecia, but there are like a variety of treatments one can try. For example, when I had mine, when I went to Lutz Dermatology Clinic in Lagos, and I had alopecia areata, I was told to try the steroid shots treatment, which I did. So for some people, it works. It works for them. Like they get regrowth after trying it. For the period they take the steroid shots. And I've heard of stories where, like, when you stop, the hair falls off again. But it's a form of treatment, right? And there is also steroid creams, shampoos, and all. There's also, I think, laser therapy or light therapy. I think trichologists actually try that too. There's also like cosmetic camouflage too. Like I think it's a form of treatment. Hair transplant, it is a form of treatment too. MSP, it's a form of treatment too. And I think Vinci actually like does both. So those are treatment options people can try. And some people also go natural. People try aromatherapy, they try using essential oils, they try using natural oils, they try acupuncture. I remember a time on the group Heroic Alopecia Foundation. I think that was like 2017 or 18, Jasmine?
2017.
We decided to try the onion therapy treatment. Yeah, we all tried it. I think I did mine for like 2 weeks. It was like stressful and I stopped at one point. But some people continue with that, and we got one success story. One of our members, she had alopecia areata then, and her hair grew back from that treatment. So although they're not like there's not any known cure, but there are treatments that can work for a small percentage of people. People try this and it works for them, but they just a very small percentage. So I do not see these treatments as cure. It's just like a way to manage the condition if it's like at a manageable stage, especially for people that have alopecia areata. But it is scientifically believed that the longer your hair loss journey is, the less the chances of regrowth you have. So when I get someone that is like really new to the whole alopecia journey, I definitely do advise them to like try a couple of treatments. But once it has progressed, like you start hearing 10 years, 15 years, I preach more of acceptance than or then you can try MSP. I think one of our members did one time and she looks amazing with it. So yeah, so that's just it. There are a couple of treatments for it here, that's true, but no known cure. That's important too.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. And you were incredibly right in saying that Vinci do these treatment options. And when it comes to the formal Q&A session, I will invite Dr. Benedict from Vinci Hair Clinic Ghana just to shed a bit more light on these treatment options as well. But thank you again for bringing that up. That really was useful. Was there anything else that you wanted to add to that answer, Jasmine?
Well, we said it all. She has said it all. And
said it all eloquently.
Since Doctor will be coming on, I feel it will shed better light that. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And I just have a point for the viewers as well. Whilst we are coming to the end of our questions I had, you are more than you're more than able to post your questions in the comments section. So if you have any questions for these two wonderful ladies, or any questions based on Vinci itself and the treatments that we offer, then please feel free to share that in the comments box and we'll answer your questions when we get to that point. But I guess for you two ladies, there's a final question that I had for you. And that's mainly towards Jasmine, but I'm sure that you're more than welcome to hop in as well. So the question for you is, please tell us a bit about the Heroic Alopecia Foundation and how can viewers here support the cause?
Okay, Heroic Alopecia Foundation basically is a support, is an organization that supports alopecians and also creates a safe place for alopecians. You know, the aim of creating the foundation in the first place was to let more people know about this thing, because I didn't know about alopecia until 10 years into the journey. You know, I call it a journey because alopecia is actually a journey. I didn't know what it was. Like, I was ignorant for 10 good years till 2015 when I stumbled on someone's story, Rachel Regal, who's an American. I stumbled on a story, you know, how she was managing her daughter's hair loss, and that gave me some form of strength. And I decided I was going to be a shoulder for other people in Nigeria and Africa at large and globally, you know. So the essence of the foundation is actually to let more people know that there's a condition called alopecia, and also to create support, you know, to support people who are going through that phase, you know. So when we actually have a support group on WhatsApp where strictly where the membership is limited strictly to just alopecians. It's a group where alopecians can freely come online, talk about their experience, talk about their low time, you know, and there's always strength for them. There's always words of encouragement. And then recently, we had, in fact, last year, we had issues. We had mental health issues. Like, one of our members, you know, had mental health issues that was almost leading to suicide. She was suicidal, yeah. And we all had to be on our toes for her, looking for psychiatrists, you know, to intervene. We had to come up with online mental health programs, you know, just to make her feel good about herself. And just recently, last week, we had another member who was suicidal. You know, she was talking about leaving the world, she was talking about taking her life and all. And, you know, I was off balance, you know. So the foundation cannot do it alone. We need people, we need medical support, we need mental health support. And that's the reason we have this support squad, you know. Because aside the mental health support, aside the mental support, emotional support, we also need to give physical support. So for every support squad T-shirt that we sell to our supporters, at the end of this month, an alopecian gets a physical support, like a head covering, beanie, bonnet, wigs. And thanks to some people already coming on board, you know, like we have Vinci Hair Clinic, who is giving us 50% discount on MSP. Some of our members are already jumping on that offer, and they look really beautiful. Like, thank you so much, Vinci, for that offer. We really appreciate. We also have some wig companies coming on board, supporting us with wig donations. We also have some beauty clinics who are into microblading, microshading. They have some offers for some of the alopecians to jump on. So we're really open to support. We're open to partnerships. We need medical support. We need mental health support. We need psychiatrists to come on board. We are not vast in this thing. We don't really know much about some specific areas, so we need people who specialize in that area to come on board, so that they can make it easy for us, because the truth is we are growing in number, and as we are growing, the work is getting more tedious. Like, I could tell you, sometimes I get sleepless nights for days, sometimes a week long. I don't get to sleep because I have to be on my toes for a member, just to solve a problem and all that. So we really need support. We need people to get our support tees, because for every support tee you buy, because some people feel, okay, it's business, maybe because that's my field, because I'm into textile designs and all. Yeah, I have to put a signature to it, because we don't want people out there duplicating it for wrong reasons, right? That's why I have to put a signature on the t-shirt. And like I shared last week with someone who invited me for an interview, the real story behind the support t-shirt is actually a tie-dye shirt, right, that has a story that has to do with alopecia. So you have one, right? You're wearing one, right? If you look at it, you would see
Yeah.
like a box.
Yes, I
Yeah.
think it's like this part, right?
Yeah, so
Very
that bunch you see at the top of your t-shirt signifies the hair follicles. You get? So other part you see shedding off is the hair, like your hairs are shedding out, and despite that, you are not your hair. Like, for every alopecia, there's a write-up that personalizes it, that I am not my hair. We decided to wear this one so people can know that we have a lot of support tees for them to, buy and support an alopecia. But for the ones we made for alopecia, there's a personalized write-up that states, I am not my hair. So the whole story around the shirt is, despite my hair follicles being affected and my hairs are falling off, I am not my hair. I stand strong. Do you understand? And we try to sound this to alopecians every now and then to let them know that they are not alone. Like, there's a Ghanaian that just came on board a few days ago, and she feels relieved right now, because just before she joined, she said she thought she was the only one who has alopecia. She thought she was the only one in the world, not just in Africa, who has alopecia. But the moment she stumbled on my page and I accepted her to be one of us, she feels better. She shared her testimony with me yesterday, and we're really excited about it. So we really need support. We need people to come on board. We need partnership. It can never be enough. That's just it.
I agree, and I agree. Yeah, that was a really, really loaded but really wonderful answer. So just thank you so much for sharing that, Jasmine, and just, thank you so much for all that you're doing. Just hearing the stories of, just the mental struggles people face, but you guys being there and just being that pillar of support is really important, and something that we really do commend a lot. So we thank you so much for that. And we'll definitely share the links to your page as well after in this session, just so people can know what the Heroic Alopecia Foundation is about and how to best support you guys. And to also get one of these lovely t-shirts that I'm currently wearing. And just knowing the story about the tie-dye was nice. I remember putting it on thinking, well, this is nice. But then actually know like that was what it represented. So thank you for, really beautifully explaining that. That really does mean a lot. Thank you guys so much for answering your questions so well. That was the end of the questions I had for you guys, but I know there have been a few questions that have come through our Q&A section, so I'll just go through them now. If anyone else has any questions, then please feel free to share them in the comments section and we'll get to them where we can. And these questions can be directed to these two lovely ladies, or also Dr. Benedict as well, who will have more Vinci related questions if you have any. So I'll just go through the questions that we have. So we have a question from, oh, it's actually directed to you, Moshoodat. So you have a question from T555. And they said that, you mentioned in your biography you work in the beauty industry. And they just wanted to know what people's reactions are when they first meet you, especially being in that industry.
Okay, for me, as I said, my journey started in 2015, and I think the first picture of my bald head I posted on social media was in that same 2015. And some people feel my story or my journey of acceptance was pretty fast, and I'm just like really grateful it happened at a age whereby I got access to the right information, and I met Jasmine really heavy. So I've never, like, let me say really phased, because let's say most of my clients come to me knowing I already have alopecia, and some that do not. I think after your first appointment with me and you're part of my WhatsApp contact, in a few weeks you already know I have alopecia, and you definitely ask questions. So maybe some clients that do not come back, I actually do not think of it that it's probably, maybe they just didn't enjoy their first treatment. I do not think it is because of alopecia itself, because I am so open about my journey and I do my best to educate people. There are moments whereby, okay, I'm also a makeup artist, so there are times I have to go on jobs and I have to sleep over. Okay, I cover my head most nights when I sleep because of the cold. I'm prone to cold easily. When I want to take my bath in the morning, of course, I open my head. And people were like, oh, why are you on this hairstyle? Why did you shave your hair? Sometimes I'm not in the mood to talk too much. I just like, no, I just feel like. And that's it. Some people just feel, okay, you're just on this hairstyle. And when I want to talk, I educate them. And I swear, I've gotten amazing, because people just feel I'm so open. It's not something I hide. And I feel I would get negative reactions if I hide it and they get to know later. They might want to think, oh, maybe I got this through one of my treatments, or some of the things I do, or some of the things I use. But because I'm so open and I do my best to educate people, and they know what alopecia is, so any intelligent person won't attribute it to what I do. And I think I've only ever gotten one comment, a friend of mine. That's why I say stigmatization actually comes from friends and family rather than from strangers. Because he asked me, he actually told me that he feels I shouldn't post my pictures on, especially on social media. Okay, why? He said, and because he feels it might drive clients away from me when they see I'm bald, and they might feel okay. It's because I have my skincare line. They might feel okay, maybe some of our products. And I was just really baffled, like, okay, where did that come from? And it's actually a guy, coming from the other gender. And I was like, where did this even come from? But I didn't want to be that girl. I didn't want to be that person that had to hide it. So, and I think my journey of acceptance has actually even increased my clientele. Yeah. Because some people actually want to patronize me just because they want to know more about alopecia. From there, oh, you do this. Oh, yeah, I would love to try this. And again, new clients just because they want to know about alopecia. So it's been easy, really.
Amazing. And just thank you so much for sharing that. That was a really great answer. And I'm very surprised at that guy's comments, because, I mean, these are beautiful ladies. So the fact that he said that was a guy as well, like, I'm just like, what? That's a bit crazy. But I'm really happy to hear your story of acceptance. And it's incredibly inspiring for us to see that, just to love the skin that you're in. And you're both are beautiful ladies, and I'm just really happy to hear that you're confident, and as you should be, in your own skin. So thank you so much for sharing that. There was another question that came in from St. Barrett Milan, and the question was it could be to both of you, to be honest. The question was, how can you manage how do you manage your condition? Like, what tips do you have to manage alopecia?
Okay. I think self-acceptance is the key. I tell people, and that's the thing I mention in the group, like, every time. You have to accept your condition first. You have to love yourself. Nobody's going to do that for you. In my journey, nobody told me, oh, baby, you have to start posting your pictures on social media. You have to get over this. Nobody will tell you that. In fact, they would give you advice like, oh, it's okay. I'm actually Muslim. I was covering my hair before this all happened. And I got comments where people would tell me, oh, thank God you're already covering your hair. Like, it was easy. Like, oh, thank God you have something to hide behind. And for people that use wigs, so they're like, oh, thank God you can use wigs. So nobody's going to tell you that it is okay to love yourself because they are already telling you to hide yourself.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to tell you that it is okay to accept this. Nobody's going to tell you that it is okay to love yourself. You have to decide that first. Whether you cover it or not, do not hide. Do not hide behind a scarf. Do not hide behind the wig. I hardly go out without my scarves, but I am free to a point whereby when I'm in the midst of my friends, when I'm even in the midst of strangers and I'm inside, I feel free enough to remove my head coverings because most people know that I'm already bald and I'm not hiding anything. And that's the point. Do not hide. Don't hide who you are. And self-acceptance is just it.
Yeah, true.
Thank you. And did you have anything else you wanted to add to that, Jasmine?
Exactly. Self-acceptance is actually because the moment you accept yourself, every other person would have no option but to join you. You understand? Because the thing is, alopecia is actually a journey, and the moment you accept that fact, you know, automatically your mind is wired in a way that okay, this is it. If there's a regrowth, fine. If it doesn't happen, fine. But this does not change the fact that I am me. You understand? So the moment you accept that condition, the moment you accept yourself for who you are, other people would accept you. And then another thing is beauty radiates from within us outwardly. Like we have some members at the early stage of the foundation that had issues in their marriage because their spouse see them as ugly when they wake up in the morning. But I think the mindset has changed now. They were looking ugly in the morning because they had that mindset that they are ugly without hair. But the moment they accepted the fact that they are bald, and because most of them have the advanced case of alopecia, there's no assurance that they might have a regrowth. You know, they have to accept it. And the moment they got themselves into that mode of acceptance, you know, they started looking beautiful. And they testify to the fact that they look beautiful and everything has changed, you know, in their marriage. So it all boils down to acceptance, really.
Absolutely. I think that's a really powerful message that brings everything together, you know, like just acceptance from friends. I think the common theme through this is just acceptance through friends and family, and also just self-acceptance from yourself, which I think is the most important part as well. So I just thank you so much for sharing that. That was really, really insightful. We have some questions coming in for Vinci itself. I'm just trying to invite Dr. Benedict.
Okay.
Going to try and add him.
1 minute.
Sure. Let me just give 1 more minute. Let me try.
Okay.
Welcome back. Okay, I'm going to give it just.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, feel free to please add any more questions that you guys have for these two ladies, and I'm going to try and add Dr. Benedict as well to go through Vinci related questions. I know that came up quite a lot today. Sorry for this delay. I think there seems to be a little bit of a technical glitch,
Okay.
but that is all good. So we have another question actually come in. So the question is, I know this month is, oh, there we go.
Okay.
Hi, Dr. Benedict.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Hi.
Hello, everybody. Hi. Thank you for inviting me. I'm glad to be here.
Thanks for joining us. It's been really great. You've had quite a few questions come up, so I thought I would run through some of them with you whilst we have you here. So one question that came in was, can individuals with alopecia undergo hair transplant procedures?
Mm. All right. First of all, I would like to say hi to Jasmine. You're doing a very, very, very great work. Yes, because a lot of people uh, going through this, giving them that support is so important. Moshoodat, this is amazing. Your story was so touching. I was listening to it, and it's amazing. Yeah. The thing here is that, for hair transplant here at Vinci, um, all around the world, we will need healthy uh, follicles to be able to achieve our goal. In order to, uh, we, we don't just want to tell you that, yes, it's possible. No, it's not. The answer to that is no. We will not talk about doing a hair transplant for that because of what was beautifully said earlier. It's an autoimmune condition, and it means that yes, so it's progressive. It's going to go on. So when we do a hair transplant, it's not a guarantee that we're going to get results. Yes. So that's
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that, Dr. Benedict. That was insightful.
yeah.
We had another question coming from the audience. It's mainly related to MSP procedures. Esther
Okay.
Christopher asked if the MSP is painful and what that process would entail.
Okay. MSP. This is a tattooing. Is a tattooing. You're tattooing the area with medical grade pigments. So once you do that, you try to give a simulation of the hair follicle. Now, so it's the hair appears to have hair. You see, so there are various pain thresholds to people, but it's not painful. And we have lots of clients coming here at Vinci, and they do the micro scalp pigmentation. In other parts of the world, you may hear it as SMP, which is the scalp micropigmentation. Yes, so it's a one and the same procedure. It's very tolerable for many of our clients. It's not painful at all. Yes, yes. So that's that.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that, Dr. Benedict.
Yeah.
Sorry, please, can I ask something about the MSP? Is it a one-time procedure?
Yes, please.
Like once you do it, you have it.
Oh no, it's not. Okay. Yes. So usually it's a three session. Over we give it 3 sessions. Yes. So we can give it at 1 week apart interval. Yes. So usually the client will come in and say, okay, I want a full scalp micro scalp pigmentation done for me. Yes. Or I want parts of it done for me. So it depends on what the client would want. But usually we give 3 sessions, and 1 week apart. Then that's it. It comes out very beautifully. We've actually had lots of clients coming here, and they are very happy about the procedure.
Yeah, like we have some of our members who have
Yes, they come in, and you earlier alluded to the fact that we give 50% discount. Yeah, so those who come through your foundation, yes, of course, we do that, and it's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that, guys. We had another related transplant question. Benji Dooley asked if transplants are only for those who have some considerable amounts of their hair left. So someone has like, they kind of asked like how much hair you would need to have for transplants if you need any hair.
Yeah, can you repeat the question again, please?
He just asked if a transplant, so a hair transplant, is only for those who have a considerable amount of hair left in their head. So if they had, I don't know, no hair, for example, would a treatment still be feasible? Like, how would that?
Okay. Okay, yes. Now, the hair transplant it would work when they come in for a consult. You see, that's where the consult comes in very handy. So we at Vinci here offer free consultation for our clients, those who come in. And so we then factor in. Now, the diagnosis, getting the right diagnosis is very important. We have the male pattern baldness. So first of all, we look out for the donor area to examine it to make sure that we have enough hair to transplant from the donor to the recipient area. Yeah. So looking out for that, then we go ahead and then we can proceed on the hair transplant procedure. So some people may stay at home, trust me, and say, oh, I think my hair has gone through extensive hair loss and I'm not a candidate for hair transplant. No, no. The first thing is come for a consult. When you come in for a consult, we then will examine. You'll be amazed. We've actually had, I was just looking through today, I was amazed by, we had a client that it seemed that the transplant, he had considerable male pattern baldness pouring. And the hair transplant was done for this client. Looking at him, you think, oh, this is so extensive. We can't do anything about this. But it was done, and there was considerable improvement and results to show for it. Yes. So consult is the key. Yes, coming for a consult. Free. It's free consult.
I agree. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I agree. I think the free consultations is definitely a really key aspect of that. I just realized we lost Jasmine. So I'm going to add her back. Hopefully she joins us. But I guess I know we're kind of running out of time, but I guess a question, maybe a final question could be, answered. You know, what happens after this month? So this month is, you know, Hair Allocation Awareness Month. What happens next? Like, what happens after this month in terms of raising awareness of alopecia?
Awareness continues. It continues. Awareness is not just for September, though we do more in September, being that September is Alopecia Awareness Month. But we create awareness every day, you know, locally within friends and families. We create awareness, and most of the time we plan for September. We spend the rest of the year planning for the next awareness month, and we're hoping we can do so much more next year. You know, plan physical events, plan more, get more partnerships. Because one of our dream is for we to be able to sponsor people that cannot afford procedures like MSP and then hair transplants, to be able to support them. So for these two, we need donations. We need donations to be able to do that. For now, it's just I wouldn't lie to you. It's just Jasmine funding the foundation on her own, and she has been doing an amazing job, really. So we need donations. We need money to be able to do that. You know, we have people in villages, people that cannot even afford consultations, and I'm really glad that Vinci is like giving us free consultations. They cannot even afford to have consultations, not to talk of affording like treatment. Some people do not even know the kind of alopecia they have. That's how bad it is. They've had alopecias for like a very long time, and they do not even know the kind of alopecia they have. So we want to like provide support for this kind of people, and also provide treatment options for them too. We won't have to be able to fund that. So yeah, that's the major.
Amazing, and thank you so much for sharing that. I'm confident that it will be bigger and better next year. You're seeing how amazing well this session went. So thank you again for all the amazing work you guys are doing in this area. It really does mean a lot, and the viewers and myself most definitely appreciate it as well. But I guess, you know, it's 7 o'clock, so that would conclude our session for today. But you can follow these. I'm just pinning a list of the different acts that you need to follow. You can follow at Vinci Hair Nigeria, at Vinci Hair Ghana, and at Heroic Alopecia as we keep this education going with education posts and activities on alopecia. We all realize how important it is to raise awareness and how important it is to spread the word. And this is definitely a key way to do that. If you or anyone you know has alopecia, please encourage them to join the Heroic Alopecia Foundation. And as mentioned a few times, you can also visit Vinci Hair Clinic for a free consultation with any of our consultants, including the amazing Dr. Benedict. And members of the HLF are entitled to a 50% discount of MSP procedures. So please send a DM to @Heroic Alopecia for more details. I want to thank the three of you, Jasmine, Moshoodat, Dr. Benedict, so much for joining us tonight. I'm sure
Thank
you
you.
was
Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure, you guys. But
Thank you
thank
very
you
much.
everyone for watching as well, and I look forward to seeing the conversation going. But thank you so much again for joining everyone. Oh, and we also do virtual consultations as well, so you need to go in.
Yes,
We
yes,
know
very
COVID is still
important.
out
Yes,
there,
true.
so virtual consultations are still very welcome. But thank you so much for joining everyone. Please make note of the handles in the chat. And you all have a lovely evening, and we'll take care and see you guys soon.
Thank you.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.
Okay.